What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here, back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts anime original Back Arrow from the anime Back Arrow. And I don't know what it is, but something about this figure just really caught my attention, so I had to pick it up. Now let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into that sexy packaging, and then we can dive right into the figure itself. Now for the sexy packaging, not a whole lot going on. You do have this image of Arrow right here running. He does have this metal ring in his hand, or a bracelet. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I haven't watched the anime yet. I'll explain why later. But as far as the box goes, it's just a bunch of whites and different colored blues. You do have the window where you can kind of see some of the figure in there, not all of it, but a little bit. It says Back Arrow right there, Tamashii Nation's seal of approval, Tamashii Nation's Bandai. We do have, once again, this image that I think is really good. The artwork to this show looks very beautiful, by the way. But at the bottom, we do have the figure in the same exact pose that he's in up here. I dig that they did that. At the top, it just says Back Arrow. You do get his eyes right there. That's pretty dope as well. Nothing much going on this side. It says SH Figuarts at the top. You do have an image of him right here. On this side, it just says Back Arrow. And then, of course, on the back, you got some poses you can get the figure into, as well as the mech, which I was supposed to be getting. They actually sent me the wrong version, but I'm just going to buy another one because I'm pretty sure I'm really going to like this figure. And then, of course, at the bottom, you got all the legal stuff that no one cares about. So, yeah, let's go ahead and bust this guy open because I'm pretty excited for this one. Now, here we have Arrow straight out of the packaging, and I gotta say, in my opinion, this figure looks amazing, and that's the main reason I wanted to get it. I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, something about this guy just looks absolutely outstanding, and also the visuals from the anime look just amazing, but I'll talk about that later. As far as the figure goes, I had no idea why I wanted to add this to my collection until a buddy of mine commented on a post on Instagram of me posting that I got this figure, and he says, man, this is totally a male Ryuko. And immediately it clicked. Yes, he looks like a male version of Ryuko from Kill la Kill. And if you haven't watched Kill la Kill, do yourself a favor, go check out Kill la Kill. That anime is amazing. It also has some of the best visuals, period. I feel like that anime was just so very well done. But anyway, back to this guy. I think that's what it was, and I love it. He definitely has her hairstyles with the navy bluish, blackish with the red streaks in it, the big blue eyes. This guy just looks dope to me. He's got this scar on his chest. I have no idea what this is. I don't know how he got it, but I did do a little bit of research on this guy. I know he was sent to his land in order to conquer it. He was sent by the gods. I don't know the full story. I plan on watching the anime this weekend, but I wanted to come into this review blind because there's been a lot of people to say, oh, well, you give anime figures great. Basically, I give them good critiques because I'm an anime fan. And so I was like, you know what? You guys might be right about that. Some of my anime reviews might be a little biased. So I'm going to go into this one completely blind, and that's what I did. I did just enough research on this guy to be able to tell somewhat of a story of him. And like I said, he was just sent to his homeland by the gods, and he's supposed to conquer it, but he ended up losing his memory. Typical shonen kind of written anime, but I don't know. I like it. But anyway, onto the figure itself. He's got this very strange-ish type costume, and that's another thing I like about it. It doesn't have that current shonen type look, and this is not a shonen anime, by the way, but it has more of like a kind of a cowboy bebop-ish Trigon look. He's got this small jacket with one sleeve on it. As you can see, he's got this button right here with a star on it. The paintwork on this is really nice. I thought this was a hoodie, but I guess it's not. Maybe it's just like a flat piece on the jacket. He's got this red tank top underneath. This sleeve is ripped off, and the sculpt work on all of this is nice. Not a lot of paint work going on. Now, I do have some issues I'll discuss in just a sec, but first we'll move on down to the belt. Some of that brown is kind of like leaking onto the white. I don't like that, but I mean, this figure is actually pretty cheap. I only paid like 40 bucks for it, so I'm not going to complain too much, but still, it is an import. You've got this weird floating piece right here. that I think they did it this way so that it doesn't hinder the articulation too much. So I'm fine with that. And then he's got this, I don't know what you call this baggy whatever over his jeans. And he's just wearing a pair of white jeans and some reddish orange boots. They actually look a little bit more orange. But yeah, his costume design is very, very interesting. Whole lot going on with it, and I like that. It's something new. I love this kind of stuff when it comes to anime. But as far as my issues go with this figure, right now I only have one. And it is the fact that this figure is very loose. Like, very, very loose. Especially at the thigh swivel. It holds a pose just fine, so I'm not going to complain about that. But at this thigh swivel, this guy is very, very loose. And kind of at the feet, too. Like, they just kind of, they don't flop around or anything, thankfully. But it's just a lot more loose than it should be. It almost feels like a bootleg. But obviously it's not. You saw the Tamashii Nation's quality sticker. But yeah, I don't really care for that. I feel like over time, it's just going to get worse. Hopefully, since it is mostly just the thigh swivel, it won't cause me too many issues. I feel like the feet will be fine over time. But still, I just wanted to point that out. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Let's go ahead and put this guy back, see how tall he stands. And then we can get into the articulation. Now, Arrow actually looks like he'll be a tall character in the series. But being that this is SH Figuarts, figures are just not going to be tall. So to the top of his head, as you guys can see, he's about 5.5 inches. To the top of his hair, he's a little over 6 inches. So right in that 6-inch scale, he's going to fit in fine with a lot of your SH Figuarts, depending on how you feel he should look with them. Hopefully it's accurate, but I won't be able to guarantee that until I watch the anime. Articulation-wise, he doesn't really look up much at all, and that's because of his hair. It's already touching the back of the neck, so that's about as much as you're going to get out of that, unfortunately. He does look down very well. He does get really great tilt. As far as the arms go, they go up and out that much. That is superb. I'm all about that. He does have a bicep swivel on both arms. He also has a diaphragm joint. You kind of got to work with it to get it to move. It seems like it's very weirdly designed. I don't know if you guys can see the engineering in there. I can't really tell what's going on, but it does seem like a very weird design. It doesn't come forward very much, not as much as I would want it to. I'm trying to pull out to see, and nah, it doesn't work. Now, if anyone's worried about his arm coming off, don't, because he comes with an interchangeable arm piece, which is why this came off like that. So don't worry about that at all. But yeah, he doesn't bring his arms in as much as I want. The bicep swivel is there. As far as the elbows go, whoa, single joints. I'm not happy with that. Not happy with that at all. I really think they could have worked in double jointed elbows. Granted, he still will be able to pose fine, but I feel like they just missed out on that opportunity. Now, as far as the hands go, they are on the typical SH Figuarts hinge. You can pretty much move them around freely with no worry. At the chest, he does have a diaphragm joint that works nice. That's awesome. He leans back about that much, crunches forward about that much, so you can get him into running poses, no problem. He does tilt, turn, all that good stuff. And he does move at the waist down here as well. You can turn that, but I mean, it's really, you don't really need to, because at the diaphragm joint, he gets all that articulation. So it is there though, so that's great, but it's not necessary. Now, as far as this piece right here, it is just a floating piece, but with the belt right here, it's somewhat annoying to kind of lift up. And you probably end up getting more frustrated with it than anything. But he does kick forward. Whoa. All right, I'm going to keep that on here. I was not expecting that. But, okay, interesting. He kicks forward about that much, so he can totally kick. He can do the splits just fine. I already showed the thigh swivel. Actually, it's really the right leg, honestly. The left leg isn't too bad, but the right leg is where it's bad. As far as the knees, only bend about that much. I'm fine with that. You can still get him into dynamic running poses if you want to, so it does work. I wish he had a double jointed knee, but with all this going on with the costume, it might have been too difficult, so I'm not going to complain about that. His foot goes down about that much. Foot goes up about that much. He does get really good ankle rocker despite these crazy pants that he's wearing. And then he does have a toe hinge as well. So articulation wise, I'd say he does fine. It is typical for a SH Figuarts to have pretty good range, so this doesn't surprise me much. I wish they would have done a little bit better on the diaphragm joint, but other than that, ultimately I'm satisfied, so I'll take it. Now, as far as accessories go, I definitely think you do get more than enough with this guy, and so I'm happy with that. First off, you do get a smiling face. This is what he comes like out of the package. You get a pair of fist hands. You get a teeth gritting face, which this is him when he's angry. You get a yelling face, and then you also get this one, which is probably my favorite, which is kind of like a cocky grin. And all of these are painted very, very nicely. Now, the reason I said that about the arm earlier is because you actually get an interchangeable arm piece. This is where he has the, I guess this is the ring that summons his mech. I'm not sure. He has it around his bicep, and so you pretty much can change out these parts right here. So it's cool that they threw that in. Now, including the ring, you get two hands that have them, and you get this one, which is like reminiscent to the pose that he has on the box, which this is dope. And this is actually the same artwork in the promotional image of the anime. And so, yeah, you do get two of those. Here's one where he's holding it with a closed fist. And then as far as other hands, you do get a pair of kind of reaching, grabbing type hands, if that's what you want to use them for, dynamic posing. And then you do get a pair of relaxed hands. So yeah, a ton of stuff with this guy. If you did get the deluxe edition, which is the one that I pre-ordered, I'm still not sure how they sent me this one, but you also get his mech as well. I just went ahead and ordered another one because why not? And if nothing else, I'll just sell this guy who comes with the 2-pack. So yeah, but ton of accessories, and once again, I'm satisfied. Moving on to some size comparisons. Since the movie is coming out today, finally, I figured I'd go ahead and compare it to the SH Figuarts movie Black Widow, the Earth Toys Captain Tsubasa from the anime, which I didn't know existed until not too long ago. I thought it was just a video game, but I picked this one up just because I think it's a dope looking figure, and I will be watching that anime eventually. Also, we have on the far right the Sentinel Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. Next up, since this is an anime about mechs and Gundams and all that crazy stuff, I figured why not go ahead and compare him to a Hasbro Stormtrooper. And I think he fits in nicely with these if you do want to pose him, maybe fighting him. Not entirely sure if this guy's a fighter outside of his costume, but still, either way, they look good together. We do have the SH Figuarts Jujutsu Kaisen Yuji Itadori, which is probably one of my favorite figures of the year. And then, of course, we do have the Marvel Legends 2-pack movie Deadpool. Lastly, here he is standing next to a Revoltech My Hero Academia Boku no Hero Academia Deku, the Buzz Mod Zenitsu, which I just reviewed. Go check that out if you haven't already. And, of course, the Figma, I wish we would have got more, Haikyuu Shoujo Hinata. Now, for what it's worth, me not knowing anything about this anime, it still didn't stop me from having fun with this figure. I don't know what it is. I just got extremely creative with it, and I had a ton of ideas. And so I took quite a few photos. Some of them I didn't really care for. I didn't want to go too overboard for the people that have already seen this anime, and I don't want them to watch my video and be like, oh, you wouldn't do that, yada, 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 because it could be completely wrong. But I wanted to wait to watch this anime just so I could explain how I feel about this figure without there being any biases. So like I said, I am going to watch it this upcoming weekend. But to be fair, I had fun with this guy. I really did. I knew what to expect just by looking at it. And honestly, if you've purchased from a company before, then you know exactly what I mean when I say that. You pretty much know what you're going to get in terms of their products. Sometimes they might lack here or there. My only issue with this figure is the loose joints. Other than that, the paintwork's pretty nice. The detail and everything came out clean. He could have benefited from some shading, but by now, who doesn't know that Tamashii Nations is not adding shading to their figure? Ever since they upped the quality on everything they release, shading is just something that went out the window, unless it's a event exclusive or something like that. But yeah, I do like this figure. Now, if you're wondering if I'd recommend this to anyone, if you're a big fan of anime like myself, by all means, go pick this up. If you like the look of the mech suit, definitely go pick it up, because you could have a ton of ideas just for that. Now, if you're looking for a character who might be a background character in some shots, maybe a civilian or something, you could use him for that. I'm not entirely sure, but I always tell people, check out the series just to see what it's about if you decide to pick up a figure, because if you're using it for action figure photography, that is definitely going to enhance your ideas tenfold. Even if you watch like 1 or 2 episodes and it's not for you, you still have something that you feel like, okay, I could put this figure to better use. I could do this, I could do that. And that's just how I'm looking at this figure. I don't recommend it for everyone because some people might not like it. And mostly the people who will feel that way probably have already figured that out just by watching my review. You can watch it and say, man, that's definitely not for me. But if you're thinking about it, pick him up. He's pretty cheap. I think I spent like 40-50 bucks on him. Once again, I did buy a second one with the mech. I will probably review the mech part of the deluxe when it gets here, and then I'll just leave this guy standing in the background or something like that. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and stay safe wherever you are. Bye.